So growing up as a kid, Erie, Colorado, kind of like I had this correlation where there was this show that came out in the early 90s and I was like, oh, Erie, is that really based in Erie, Colorado? But really it was Erie, Indiana. But yeah, that's just kind of my only association with the area. It was always so small when I was growing up.
Yeah, but if you haven't heard of Erie before, don't you worry, because today we're actually going to talk about everything that you need to know about Erie, Colorado.
All right, let's go. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. If this is your first time watching, we are your Colorado real estate family, always bringing you the good, the bad, sometimes maybe inappropriate insights of Denver and all of its surrounding cities. Also, we're here to help with all your purchases or selling of real estate in Colorado.
Yeah, so if you're interested in what it's like to live in Denver and its surrounding cities, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because we're going to be the ones who take you through the most up-to-date and most important content in Colorado.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and check out Erie from the Sky's View. Be right back. All right, guys, so we really picked this area to showcase this downtown Erie part. They do have a newer portion of Erie where they are kind of still trying to build that downtown, but I mean, there's so much character in this old town, and that's what I really like about a lot of these cities that are on the west side of I-25. We're talking about like Lafayette, Louisville. They have these great little old towns that you just walk through, great shops.
Yeah, so if you're wondering exactly where Erie is, before recently, it probably seemed really far from people, but now it is growing a lot, and it's changing a lot, and it's becoming a big city that people are looking into. So where are we? We're actually only 35 minutes north of Denver, and it's up I-25 and then on the west side. Now, if you want to know kind of how big it is, it actually on the south side of Erie is Highway 7, and it goes all the way north until about 52, it kind of goes around a little bit, and then it goes all the way from I-25 all the way over to about 287. So it's kind of a nice little square. When you look at it on a map, it's kind of weird, but that would be the main like kind of square boundaries of it. But it's growing a lot. And
so if you haven't watched our other video, we did a video on Dacono and Frederick. That's essentially the other side of I-25 from this city. Dacono mainly because the north side of Dacono is Highway 52. Very similar to Erie. But like I said, go check those videos out. That's pretty much your other side of I-25. Now we're going to dive into the facts, because that's probably obviously why you're watching this video right now. Erie, Colorado, how big is it? So you're looking at a population like right around 30,000. That was in 2021. If you watch our other videos with Dacono, Frederick, and Firestone, Firestone being the largest one, Firestone was 25,000. Dacono was what? It was like 8,000 or something right around there. So it's definitely larger than those cities. A big reason why it is so popular is because it is on the west side of I-25, which is where you want to be when you're kind of moving to the northern part of Colorado without getting to Fort Collins.
You say that, but we're on the east side. But it is desirable.
Oh yeah, we are. I was like, right now we're not, but yeah.
But it is desirable because you're closer to the mountains. Anytime you get closer to the mountains, it become a little bit more desirable. However, we're literally just across the interstate from those other cities. Although Erie does feel a lot bigger. It
does. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a lot more spread out than those other cities that we really talked about. And it's just, there's a lot more sense of community here. You know, we talked about Firestone, how it's so suburbia that there's a ton of houses. Here, like I said, we're staying in the middle of Old Town, but also driving through, you have a newer portion of like the downtown area. Some great shops there, like there's that Indian restaurant there.
It's all brand new,
yeah, there's coffee shops. I mean, you pretty much have all kinds of little spots, and especially with those connecting trails too.
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. Okay, so if you're interested in the medium household income, it's about $120,000. So not bad. I think it was was higher. Yeah, so it's higher than the ones across on the east side. But like we have told you before, usually if you're looking for a more affordable house, you're going to probably have to go on the east side of I-25. As soon as you jump over I-25 over to the west side, you're going to start seeing a little increase in not only income but also home prices.
Yeah, guys, in Erie, it's just like it's just become so popular. It's also kind of like in a location outside of Boulder. So we really talked about Longmont, how popular that is because people who don't want to pay the price point of living in Boulder, they kind of go over to Longmont. This is very similar. It's right outside of Lafayette. They don't want to pay that price point of Boulder, but still kind of be able to have the short commute over to Boulder and take advantage of all the amenities that they have over there.
Well, we had a ton of you people reach out in regards to Lafayette. So if you're interested in Lafayette and you're not wanting to pay the prices, Erie's just directly north of that. One part of Erie is just directly north of that. So it's something to consider. We've had a lot of our clients call out and ask us about how do I get close to Boulder without actually being in Boulder and having to pay those prices. This is definitely a city you're going to want to consider.
Another great thing about Erie, Colorado is recently on the SafeWise, I think it was back in April, they were ranked the 9th safest city in Colorado, which is big. And looking back, if you look back a few years past that, Erie's always been a really safe community to live in, and they've gotten a ton of awards over it. So that's something to really kind of look for if you're looking into bringing your family or whoever might be into Erie, Colorado. It's going to be safe. You're not going to have to really worry about that crime.
Yeah, it's awesome too. When we were driving up here, coming over to kind of the older part of Erie, but also where the Old Town is located, we passed by the elementary school and the middle school, which is actually directly across the street from one another. And there were so many kids outside. Like, I mean, you definitely feels like it's like the smaller town, but just, I mean, literally connected to everything.
And then now we're kind of talking about the schools a little bit. Erie High School, which is in Weld County, St. Vrain Valley School District. It's the highest ranked high school in Weld County, which is pretty freaking awesome. Actually, like I said, we have some friends who live nowhere near Erie High School, and they make the commute to go all the way up to Erie High School. It's such a great high school.
And also, just interesting fact, our son Kingston, he is in wrestling, and Erie is actually one of the wrestling clubs here in Colorado that allows 4-year-olds in there, which is actually pretty uncommon for Colorado. We only found 3 clubs that were allowing it at the time when we were looking. That's more of a private club.
Yep.
Sorry, we wanted to get you really close to Old Town, but it also might have some big background.
A little bit of traffic. That's why we got the mic, right?
Buddy, I'm not paying you to hear your thoughts on life. I'm paying you to sing.
Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
Yes, but Erie had really good reviews on the wrestling program, so definitely something if your kids or anybody's in wrestling.
Yeah, sports in general. I mean, they have some great sport programs up here. I mean, their football team's does really well up here at the high school as well. Man, I am tripping all over my words today.
Wait, real quick, let's cover that then. Since we're talking about some of the recreation stuff, Erie's rec center is awesome. Yeah. So I've been up there, I've taken the kids there with my sister, and we went, swimming. They have like the big slide, a couple little slides for the little kids. They have a whirlpool. So like the pool in general is great. Well, not only that, but surrounding the rec center, you have all the fields, right? So a lot of the sports participate in the baseball fields, the soccer fields. They have tennis courts. They have the park and everything. It is a very large area that's designated all towards the rec.
Well, and they have a great golf course as well too for any of you out there who love to golf. Colorado, I think it's is it International or something, but it weaves in through a few of the Erie neighborhoods. Great golf course. I love golfing there myself, and it's just a awesome course to kind of play on. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. So I guess if you waited this long, then you really want to know about the real estate. Like, what are you going to be paying on a house if you're looking at moving into the Erie area? You're looking at the high 6s, right? And so actually the median home sales price, and I always try and divvy that up because home sales price is so much different than your home value. Home value is based on kind of like all your tax assessments and all that stuff. The amount that they sold for, the median sales price, you're looking at $626. It is up there. I will tell you right now, looking up here into the MLS, finding something for $626, it's going to be very seldom. Yeah. I mean, you're easily looking probably the high 7s, low 8s, just to kind of get into a good 3-bed, 2-bath, right around there. So, and the biggest reason is because a lot of this is brand new, guys. We're looking at brand new houses, and they're big.
They're big. They're like 5,300 square feet. I mean, it's not going to be uncommon to break into $1 million homes up here, especially some of the big ones in the brand new neighborhoods. Well, there's some cool ones. Remember when we were going through when we took our kids on the path with the bikes? God, there's some cool, unique cool houses in here. And it's just like, I was just like, I'm sitting here probably almost falling off my bike, so I'm like, whoa, just like looking all over. There were some great houses here, and like I said, it doesn't matter that they're still building brand new houses, so it's not like you're too late getting in here or anything like that. But there's some great houses, pretty much for whoever you're looking at. If you're looking up here in the older part, which is the northern part of Erie, you are going to be hitting those lower price points too. So, and also you get to be close to the old downtown.
So.
Yeah, I will say though, when we were looking at some of the real estate surrounding this old town, I think we're in that same kind of boat where people are holding on to some things, expecting Erie to blow up. But there is still a ton of area to build up here, and we're seeing signs everywhere in regards to that. Okay, just because I forgot we didn't mention this, but every time we go to church, a lot of you know if you've been following us that we go to church over in Lafayette, so we pass by Erie quite often on Highway 7, and they always have the hot air balloons. So for those of you who have kids out there, it's super fun to see the hot air balloons fly over Erie. Definitely is every Sunday, so it must be on the weekends is what I'm assuming.
Oh no, I remember there's one time I had a meeting for my business and all that, and there's a hot air balloon. I don't know if it was like a Mayday moment or whatever, but I was sitting there ordering coffee, and I swear it was like 100 feet right above, but our kids love it. Every morning, like we're driving home from the gym, you see them up in the air. So Erie has a huge spot up here that they launch their hot air balloons off of, which is super cool to see. It's just like you wake up, you're like, oh, hey, look at that. You've got some hot air balloons.
They're really cool. They have Colorado ones, and I don't know. It's just something that is always kind of hovering over Erie, and we just think that's super cool. So.
All right, so I know we're kind of painting Erie in gold right now, making it sound like it's this great place, but there are some negatives in regards to moving into Erie. Biggest one being a landfill. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was helping some clients, and actually they were purchasing in Broomfield, which is on the north side of Highway 7. It was like a small portion of Broomfield. That's on the north side of Highway 7, and then it's like, what's that big mountain right there?
We were actually kind of excited about it at first. We were like, oh, look, you have like a little mountain. And then we were like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So that's something that's a concern. Every time I'm Colorado locals, anytime I'm showing houses up there and I mention Erie, the biggest thing they say is I don't want to be anywhere near the landfill. The landfill, like I said, pretty much the southeast side of it is more dormant now, where the northern side of it's more active. It's not a thing though, guys. And you're not going to sit up here and smell it. I've never smelt it. I'm sure if you're local up here, there might be a few times that you've kind of gotten a whiff when we have some high winds or whatever. But that's definitely a big negative when you have a huge landfill. We'll throw some B-roll so you can kind of see what it looks like, and it kind of sucks a little bit for sure.
Honestly, though, if you weren't really looking for it, you might not even know that that's what it is. So
yeah, that's true.
Definitely, if you know about it and you're like, something that you're interested in staying away from, fine, but most people didn't even know. We're like, oh yeah, sure enough, definitely not as big of a deal as most people make it, unless it's something that's really important to you, then that's fine too. You just got to know where it's at.
And another negative thing too about Erie is cell service. And honestly, we've had AT&T, Verizon, who has Sprint. It just seems like no matter what up here, it's the cell service has always sucked.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to confirm this, but I know, kind of talking to some other people, how to say Erie was kind of hesitant to put new cell towers in, and I think there's only currently 3 cell towers. It does kind of suck having a cell phone here. You're always dropping calls. People can't ever hear you, and that's always kind of been a huge con into showing houses in Erie, Colorado. Trying to pull up my phone the showing code, I'm like, shit, I can't get any service. So that's something that's always kind of sucked. It's not, I think Brighton honestly has worse cell service than Erie does, but it's just one of those things that, first world problem.
Yeah, so another negative is that there is no transportation up here as far as the light rail quite yet. So you're going to be taking I-25.
Yeah, I-25, exactly. I-25, public transit, you're in a small town, you know what I mean? You can't expect awesome public transit here. RTD, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know for sure how active they are up here. RTD is like our main bus system and actually transportation system in the Denver metro area. So yeah, it's kind of non-existent up here, which that would definitely suck for sure.
And it still seems a little far north for most people.
Yeah.
But it's closing in, and it's closing in fast, and you're going to want to get here sooner than later because it's not going to seem so far for long.
Yeah, just the fact that it's blowing up. And here's the thing too, I was kind of looking at it. So Denver, we always talk about these property gains, how a lot of these cities are experiencing double-digit gains over a 12-month period. Denver didn't experience one last year. A big reason might be because of COVID, but my personal opinion, kind of when I'm always showing houses around here, is Denver's getting popular, it's getting packed, and that's why people are deciding to move to these cities on the outskirts of the Denver metro area. So just to kind of give you an idea of like how fast or how fast these the value of these houses in the area are growing. It's grown almost 16% in the last 12 months, which is huge. I think it was 27% for the last 24 months. And so houses up here are definitely becoming more expensive. Like I said, Denver's kind of getting pushed out, and so you have a lot of families who would rather have the commute going down into Denver than paying, that price point of living in, or I guess having all the congestion and stuff of Denver.
Yeah, so. A lot of people are moving outside of it, which is exactly why we're covering some of these series or some of these kind of topics of, where should I, if I don't want to live in Denver and I want to live north of Denver, where should I be living? So if those are the things that you're interested in, keep following along, because we just covered 3 of the St. Vrain kind of city.
Carbon Valley.
Carbon Valley, sorry. Carbon
Yep.
Valley cities. Now we're kind of jumping over a little bit on the west side, but we really want to show you some of these cities that a lot of people aren't talking about that are growing and especially in popularity.
All right, guys. Well, keep on following. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, welcome back. If this is your first time watching us, we are...
That way you're in the know with all the different cities that we cover and all of its...
That's right, we'll get it. Good, the bad, sometimes inappropriate, and
to keep you updated on all the newest content.
What is that?
Street cleaner. So it's not a lawn guy this time because it's winter, so the lawns are dormant. Instead, everybody, we have a street cleaner.